our dear friends, my friends in California. Let me just use my commute time here while driving on the road to tell you what I discovered about Chad Bianco. Now, understand is that I really like the sheriff. The first time I remember I saw that in the video in WeChat, and I passed it around to a lot of people. Say, "Oh, finally, there's a great sheriff. 一个很好的警长 running for 加州的州长 for California governor." I heard that message. He was right on the spot, right? I mean, everything he said, I agree with. And let's be frank. I believe that Bianco, if he should win, God willing, become the California governor, would be 50 times better than Newscomb. Definitely, without a doubt. But is he electable? That's my concern. And also, what about his character? Now, here's what happened. I talked to a friend of mine. I don't need to mention her name, but I mean, she is a very reliable friend of mine, a patriot, a Caucasian, Trump supporter. And she told me she got really concerned. And she found out, just like I found out, that during the time of BLM, Black Lives Matter, 黑面怪，这个 Bianco 就同其他的警察 they all were kneeling, before the BLM. 他在他们面前跪下来。Now, that picture turns out to be, he never denied it. It did happen. But he said, here's his explanation. Why? Now, back then you can understand, a lot of political pressure, 很多人警察民主党 even 有些可能 Rhino 都跪下来 Nancy Pelosi, right, knew, and Biden knew before the BLM, remember? Right? That was the thing to do. Everyone was so worried and concerned about the black power, right? So, and I even tried to defend him and said, well, maybe it's just that one time, the Bianco, right? Because all the tremendous pressure, just like all these football stars, they were kneeling left and right before BLM. And because I try to say, well, look, it's very tough. Do you want to keep a job or you don't want a job, right? If you don't kneel, you may lose your job as sheriff. So I don't want to just go by that one incident and one time,他knelt one time and I say he's not qualified. And then someone else tell me is that, well, he's not very passionate in his speaking. That video, of course, is meant for marketing himself, is good. But when he speak in public, all the time people heard him and say he's not very passionate. So Hilton, very passionate, very dynamic. You can tell he's just like Donald Trump. He speaks from his heart. So that is point number 2. You got to remember, this is a blue state. Even it is still a blue state. They say it's a pink state. Well, maybe definitely partly pink, partly red, right? Depends where. But to win the heart and minds of people, you need to really someone who can stir the people, wake up the people, wake up the woke, and turn them into, voters for a conservative candidate. And I believe Steve Hilton, he is a hell-raising, bombastic, dynamic, soul-stirring speaker. He really 感動我的心. Stir my heart. I said, oh, this is someone we need. And then Bianco, later on, people ask him, 这个警长, right, from Riverside County, so why is it you kneel? And we have friends who heard that. I have several friends who went to that meeting in the Bay Area. Unfortunately, I was not able to be there, but they related the story to me. Is that how come you were kneeling before BLM? 他的答案 instead of, well, honestly say, well, I was under a lot of pressure, which I can accept if he said that. He said that I was just simply praying. 他说, yeah, but the context was they were kneeling before Black Lives Matter. But he said I was really praying. So anyway, yeah, some conservative friends of mine did not take that as a proper answer. So they were, in fact, some were very upset that he lied about it. Well, only God knows, okay? Only God knows. And then the more I look into it, I found out, and you can do your own study, don't take my word for it. I'm not jumping to conclusion that he's a bad guy or that he's a rhino or whatever. I think he's still much better, but I don't think he is as electable as Steve Hilton. But you can come to your own conclusion. I hope we don't end up arguing over this, because I remember back then with Larry Elder. Remember, some people say I like Larry Elder like myself, and there were others who like Kylie. Remember that? Kevin Kylie. And people were just at each other's throat. They were, not screaming, but they were very, very, hot, debating who is a better candidate. I remember. So I don't want us to lose our friendship over who is the better candidate. Okay? If you want to vote for Bianco, you're my friend. All right? You have every right to do it. And I'm simply saying, do your own study, look into it, and listen to both, and then come to your own conclusion. Thank you. I'm Raymond.